Hello viewers, welcome back. In this video, we'll see how we can change the runtime environment. To change the runtime environment, you have to click on the runtime menu, and here you'll see option to change the runtime type. You click on that, and here in the drop down, you'll be able to see GPU and TPU based runtime environment. If you set it none, it will just use CPU based compute engine. But if you change it to TPU or GPU, then the runtime will use those particular environments. So GPU is nothing but a graphical processing unit, right? So let's set it to GPU based engine and save it. Now if you see, it's allocating a GPU for our compute engine. In the meanwhile, we'll see like GPU can process many pieces of data simultaneously, right? Because it is used for graphical rendering. Okay, and it's more powerful than CPUs or microprocessors. Okay, it can be used to run machine learning and video editing and gaming applications, and it has capability to process like multiple pieces of data simultaneously. So it gives more faster runtime. Basically, your code will be running more faster, and parallelly it can run multiple threads. So it's good to have a GPU over CPU. Okay, now if you click on this, we'll be able to see a RAM is available, right? Disk space is available. Along with that, we'll be able to see a GPU RAM or graphical processing unit. Okay, now how we'll see if the GPU RAM is allocated for our compute engine. This is the code. Let me expand this section. Now, as I mentioned, you can click section header cell to create a new section. Okay, let me delete this now. So this way I have created this section just for our heading. Like this is a section for changing the runtime. This was a section for creating a first Google Colab notebook. So let me just minimize this. Now, if you want to see if GPU is allocated to our compute engine, we have this code. We are importing TensorFlow STF, and then we're writing this TensorFlow.test GPU device name, and then run it. If it is returning a GPU device name, you are sure that it is this compute engine has allocated a GPU for our execution. Okay, if it's returning nothing, just an empty blank comma, right? So it confirms we are not using a GPU. So let me just change the runtime again. You can change it from here as well. So if I'll, instead of GPU, if I'll select TPU and save it, let the TPU allocation happen complete here. Okay, so now if you see that GPU is gone, and now we have a TPU based runtime. Okay, now if we run this code again, we'll see there is no GPU device name available for us. That means now we are not using GPU based runtime. Now if we have to check TPU based runtime, you can check for Colab TPU address in OS environment. Okay, so here we are importing operating system package, OS package of Python, and we are checking if the Colab notebook is having TPU address, and we are just printing a if else condition based on output. So if I run this, we'll see output is currently it's a TPU runtime, right? Again, if I change the runtime to GPU, now let the allocation happen for GPU based device or compute engine. Click OK. Now if you see, again we are allocated with a GPU RAM. Okay, if we run this again, we'll see now we are not using a TPU runtime, we are using a GPU based runtime. So this way you can confirm or check whether you are using a TPU or GPU based runtime. Okay, I will simply change it to none, save it, then we'll have no TPU or GPU based runtime. Click OK. If you run this, it will return nothing, no GPU device name. Okay, here, and if you run this as well, you will see no TPU device name or TPU, right? So now it is using only compute engine processing, okay, only the RAM, the CPU based processing, not a TPU or GPU based processing. So that's how we have three different runtimes available: CPU based, GPU based, and TPU based. Okay, so we can leverage either of these based on our Python code that we are trying to run. If it's a GPU intensive or if it's a processing based TPU intensive, we can just switch the runtime and work with that. So that's all for this video. We'll continue in next video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.